Hey Amy, welcome to our channel. How are you?
I'm fantastic and thank you for having me. It's my
Uh,
pleasure.
Thank you very much for your time. I'm looking forward to this interview. It's been very exciting moments because I'm very interested to hear about what you have the tips for our Kizomba followers.
Yes. I'm interested to share also because this is not a very often talked about topic because most of the classes that we go to are more lead centric. But like there are great techniques with great leads, there are also great techniques with great followers also. That's what we're here to talk about.
So let's start with your project. I heard a lot about your project.
It's called the Leading Ladies Project. So the idea of that project is not that, we're not here to replace the men or replace the leads. It's about teaching the ladies how to lead so that when they go back to the dance floor as followers, they understand the movements a lot better. And also because most of like I said, the classes are lead centric. So when the followers, sometimes even when they come to the classes, they get bored and they just think that, okay, I don't need to come to classes anymore. Followers just follow, right? But when you teach them how to lead, they get more interest to come back to classes. They get more interest in the dance form because it opens up a new dimension for them. And when that happens, they end up becoming, when it's communication, right? Dance is at the end of the day, it's communication. So if the followers get into the shoes of the leads, the communication naturally improves. And it's also the vice versa. So with that aim in mind, and also because other than India, everywhere else, the gender ratio on the social dance floor is there are more women and less men. And you don't want to sit out your favorite songs, right? So if you have a lead education in your kitty, then it always helps you to widen your horizons and explore more. That's about it.
Excellent. So
But
let's start with our favorite topic. Tell us all about following, Amy. We're waiting to hear from you.
yes, this is something that I've observed over 9 years of partner dancing, 9 years of following, that what are the, and also the past 3 to 4 years of leading, that what are the types of followers that you encounter on the social dance floor, on a festival or in a party, anywhere. So no offense meant to anybody, but these are the types of followers. As a follower, I have classified it, okay? The active followers with whom you end up saying that, wow, I had a great connection with that lady and she's an amazing follower. She's so cool. She's so cool. And we have this fantastic, I kind of end up thinking that this is like an otherworldly cosmic connection that you had with that person. But let me tell you, let me break that bubble. It is nothing but great following technique, which we will classify as active following. We'll talk about the tips to get there in the later part of the interview. And then there we have the passive followers. The passive followers, let's just say type A and type B. Type A passive followers are the ones who are lazy followers or heavy followers, and which has got nothing to do with the weight, okay? Nothing to do with the weight at all. Lazy or the heavy followers are the ones who dance only with their feet, but not with their whole body. They're not present in the dance. So what ends up happening is that the lead would have to use physical force to move them from one place to another, or to transition them from one movement to another. So that ends up like the follower has this mindset that until I am moved, I will not move from where I am right now. So that has, like I said, that has got nothing to do with what you weigh or what is your activity levels. It's just that on the dance floor, you just don't want to move. You're not present. You're not participative. So when the lead ends up having to use physical force to move the follower or to have them dance, it looks like a fight. Again, a miscommunication. It looks like not very fluid or not very smooth, right? Coming to the other kind of passive followers are the enthusiastic followers. I was one of them myself. The ones who could not wait to start dancing, or like music goes and I go, no matter what. Music goes and I go. Where I don't wait for the lead to lead me. I'm going to go because I started out as a soloist. and even coming from Latin dance backgrounds where the music is a little more active, a little more high energy, salsa especially. So, we don't have the tendency to relax. We're like always up here and ready to go. So that high level of energy, when it comes to Kizomba, the lead again has to start using physical force to contain or control that over enthusiasm or the outburst of energy that as a follower that I have. So that again leads to miscommunication and, not smoothness. So then we come to the third category of followers, which is the active followers, right? So that's what we always want to be: somebody who's present, somebody who wants to be led, somebody who's participative in the dance, somebody who's feeling the music that same way that you're feeling. Or at least that's the impression that you get, because that's how good active followers are, that you feel like they're almost reading your mind, right? But let me tell you, we don't have superpowers. We just have great technique. And that's the point that we're here to cover today.
That reminds me, like the best follower on this earth could be my mom, because my mom always knew whatever I'm up to. I come back from school, I said, Mom would ask me saying, have you done your homework? I said, yes. And she would know I haven't. She just knew everything. She was the biggest mind reader I ever met in my world. So she would be a great follower.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. That's what the thing is, that in real life relationships, you have, like, whether with moms or your wives or your girlfriends or sisters or friends, you have a lot of time and conversation where you get to know each other. So, when you establish a connection, establish an understanding with each other where they can predict what you're thinking or predict what your movement is, right? That's just natural human connection. But you're on a dance floor dancing with a complete stranger. How do you really communicate with them? How do you really understand them? It's impossible without any exchange of words or backgrounds or anything, right? So, but active following, and these are the tips which will help you really connect with your partner and really be understanding of each other, right? The 10 points, the 10 points of active following, right? So it's in no particular order, other than, like, not like priority wise, but it's just I've categorized them, numbered them from head to toe. Okay, we will cover a few of the obvious points and then few of the points that we probably are aware of but not mindful of when we are dancing. So this is just to have our minds be aware and more focused on these points, right? So, okay, let's start off with the first point, which is your head. So, your head, make sure that it's always aligned with your shoulder. It's not forward, it's not back. You have a straight chin, which is pointing forward. And with respect to your lead, it should be having its own window. So this is your window and this is your lead's window. And we're going to maintain these two windows throughout our dance, right? So even when there is a dissociation, when we are going to the side, we'll make sure that our windows are defined in place. So that, there's no touching of heads or there's no awkward facing each other, so that there's no transfer of our makeup into anybody else's faces. But having a defined window would always help you be in control of your own self, being in control of your own frame. So even when you're doing a turn or anything, make sure that you turn your head and your window turns along with you. Yeah, so you don't move around like this, right? So that's going to be causing a lot of tension in your neck. So what you're going to do is have your windows. Whenever you're turning, your window is defined. Whenever you're turning this side, your window is defined, right? My lead and my follower shoulder line should always be parallel to each other unless we're doing any dissociation movements. So even inside us, they just go to the side and come back together. But other than that, everywhere else, because Kizomba is mostly that you have to be in an embrace position, you're dancing close hold with your partner, you cannot see. Like in salsa bachata, we have visual cues. We can see where the lead is pointing us to, where the lead is guiding us. But then in Kizomba, because we are always in the embrace position, we don't really have the luxury of seeing where the lead is taking us. The lead shoulder line and the follower shoulder line should always be parallel. It's the biggest reference for us followers to keep our shoulder lines actively trying to always maintain parallel with the lead. So whether he moves here, whether he moves there, my shoulder line should always try and make sure that it is parallel to the lead shoulder line, unless there are, opening up moves or dissociation. So even inside us, the shoulder lines probably go here and they come back in parallel again, right? So because in Kizomba, we cannot see each other. We cannot have a visual reference of where the lead is trying to take us. So we can only, because our windows are here, we cannot even see each other. The easiest point of reference would be the shoulder lines. Wherever he moves me, I actively make sure that I turn my shoulders in reference to his shoulder line. Yeah? Moving on, the next one is arms. So as a follower, whether I'm short, whether I'm tall, my job is to connect here and here. So I offer my right arm and my left arm goes over his shoulder. If I'm dancing with a really tall lead, then I'll make sure that I come down, I slide my arm down and I stay connected to his arm. The more area of connection that I have on my arm to his arm or shoulder, the better I'm able to read his weight transfer, his directional changes or anything. If I'm dancing like this, so the lead is holding me here and I'm dancing like this and I have no connection here, then I will not know that where he's trying to take me. Yeah? So I make sure that I try and find a position, whether tall or short, that I have the maximum area of connection over my arms. And it's also important for me as a follower to relax your arms. If I'm dancing like this, maintaining a frame like we are used to doing in salsa, then it's probably, I'm going to hurt myself throughout the night. It's going to be painful for me. And also I will have a loose connection with my lead. I will not understand that what he's trying to tell me. We have our shoulder blades. As Latin dancers or people coming from the Latin dance backgrounds, we are more dependent on being led from our shoulder blade because that's where the lead is holding us and that's where the lead is guiding us from one place to another. So we naturally have a slight tension towards the back, towards the shoulder blade, so that we give that resistance needed for our lead to lead us from here and there. So our natural body posture is inclined, our weight is inclined towards the back. But in Kizomba, it has to be the opposite, right? Because when we are here, Kizomba, the posture is like you're more leaning into your lead. The more you lean into your lead, the more you surrender yourself, the better and easier it is for the lead to lead you. So in Kizomba, we will depend a much lesser amount on the shoulder blade and more on the shoulder line, on forward. So your intention should always be forward and not backward. Because in salsa, you're stepping back and you're stepping forward, you're being guided from here and there. So the shoulder blade is always more active and more used to receiving the signals from there. But in Kizomba, we'll make sure that we always are having an intention towards moving forward. Intention is trying to seek the communication from forward rather than from the shoulder blades. Because mostly in Kizomba Samba at least, not in urban case, but in Kizomba Samba, the right hand of the guy is generally on the small of the waist and not on the shoulder blade. So if it's on the small of the waist, you will not have any communication in the shoulder blades as such to be led by the lead, right? And also, if the lead is connected to you on the shoulder blade, his hand has to be high up here all night, and which makes it very painful for him also. So we have to be more considerate that we lean forward and give lesser tension on the shoulder blades so the lead can keep his hand comfortably on your waist and he is not using any pressure on your back, which will also not be great for the lead, not for you as a follower either. Yeah? Okay, so moving on or moving down, like I said. So coming to your core, although our upper body or the torso is kind of locked in the hold with your partner, with the lead, and most of the movements of the Jenga is coming from waist down or your navel down, but we still need to make sure that our core stays activated. There are many reasons for it. One of them is to help your Jenga. Help your Jenga is that your hips are just like a pendulum and they're hanging from a very strong support system. The pendulum will lose its stability if the foundation is not strong. So here, the foundation is my core and my hips are the pendulum. So if my foundation is not strong, is not tight, then my pendulum fails. I'll be like a noodle everywhere. Yeah, so that will end up making you also responsible of your own weight, and you'll end up being like a sack of rice to your lead. So you need to make sure, even if you're not having any movement on your upper body, but you still need to be holding your core. So that's reason number one. The reason second one is that Kizomba Samba basically comes from Masemba. Masemba means touching of your bellies. So touching of your bellies means it's not literally like lower belly or something, but when you're dancing in the closed hole, the biggest surface area of contact is your upper belly, right? So every lead that you receive is probably from the connection that you have here, right? Even if you're physically not connected, you probably have an impression of having the connection from your core. And the better you hold your core, the more you're going to be able to respond to the lead that comes from there, right?
Very good. Very
Okay.
true.
Moving lower now. So we started head to toe. We're going to move lower now. So that brings us to our hips or the pelvic bone. So our pelvic bone or hips connection as followers, because it's not bachata, we cannot be sitting like ducks like this. And it's also not salsa that it's going to be in the same line aligned with our entire body and moving as one unit. So our hips in Kizomba needs to be suspended up. There's a difference between being suspended up and suspended back. That way you're also not connected, in an unsafe region, but you have control of your own hips and make sure that you have a nice Jenga. The Jenga gets better the more it is suspended up. Okay? Suspended up, not back, not forward, never, right? And because when you move your hips out, you give space also to your leader to continue with his footwork to make sure that he has space to lead you here and there. Because you're always dancing like this, and in Kizomba you're holding close to each other. If you do not have space in the pelvic region, then he has no range of movement. Its connection is only through the upper belly. This part stays away. Stays away means not away like this, but up like this, right? Pull it up. So next one is your thighs. So I know that as followers, we are used to following step or move wherever the lead is stepping, yeah? But rather than depending on our feet, if we move a little up, and make sure that we're always trying to seek connection. Seek doesn't mean like literally look, but because we cannot look, we are stuck here. But every time we try and seek connection through our thighs, be it in a saida or be it in a pasada, caminada, or anything, we are making sure that we're actively connecting and offering ourselves. So no matter how far back or far forward the lead decides to make the length of his step, his thighs will always be connected to his upper body. So his thighs will always be under his weight, under his frame, and then when you connect to his thighs, you will have a better reading of where his weight is. Yeah.
Amy, I've got a question. So to have the
Yes.
thigh connection or sort of that, you need to bend a little bit down, right? So that your legs are
Yes.
coming a little bit
Soft.
forward.
Yes. Soft knees. Soft knees. So I'll show you what soft knees look like. Okay. So this is a locked knee. This is a bent knee, and this is a soft knee. Soft knees will always give you more movement. Soft knees will help you isolate your bunda up and not back. Soft knees will help you connect always to your lead using your thighs first rather than your feet. Alright, moving on, we make sure that as followers, we are always stepping smaller. The smaller you step, the more in control of your own weight you are, so no matter where, even if the lead decides to step back this far, yay far, as a follower, because I'm connecting using my thighs, I'll probably connect using my thighs, but I will place the ball of my feet only at a point which is comfortable for me to stay balanced, right? I should not step so far ahead that I lose balance and I fall on him or become a sack of rice on him. It is my responsibility, is my own weight. For that to happen, you need to place the balls of your feet at very in control. Never should the balls of your feet go beyond your shoulder line, either here or forward or back. If you're going anywhere, your shoulder goes first and then your balls of your feet would land exactly at a point beneath it. And also, smaller steps always looks prettier for women, it looks more graceful. If you take big steps, it probably does not make you look as graceful as you would want to, So here we go, moving on to now we are a set of 3 obvious points that is applicable for any dance form. Not just Kizomba, but any partner dancing is, number 1, being responsible for your own weight. Being responsible for your own weight is that wherever I go, and that is very much related to your core control. The more control you have on your core, the more centered, the more stable, and the more balanced you are. You do not want to be like a sack of rice on your partner. You do not want to lose balance because you're off your center and you're wearing heels and you're not very comfortable or balanced there, right? So you need to make sure that you're responsible for your own weight. It doesn't have to do with how heavy or how light you are. It's just you being in control of your own weight. Yeah. So the next one is mirroring the weight shift of your lead. Obviously, that's an obvious one. But the thing is that as a lead, the weight shift has already happened in his mind. The music is the master. The followers are generally the timekeepers. They keep stepping on time, and the direction is given by the lead, right? So, but if what I mean by mirroring the weight shift is that as a lead, when the guy is about to transfer his weight, mentally his weight transfer has already happened and it starts reflecting on his body language, even if not on his actual movement. So when the weight shift has happened, it is my responsibility as a follower to mirror the same thing. So even if he has not completely transferred the weight, but he's mentally already there and he is transitioning there, as a follower, I would try to mirror the same thing rather than after he has transferred the full weight and then I go transfer. So mirroring would always really help, and mirroring becomes very easy because if you have maintained all the connection points from head to toe, you'll probably be able to mirror much better, read the other person better. And when you are mirroring the weight transfer of your lead, obviously you will end up feeling like you're moving as a single unit, and then all the beautiful connection and stuff like that keeps on coming in your mind, right?
Thank you, Amy. That was amazing. Thank you. Wonderful tips. And I'm sure if we do all of it, that would make our life easy as a lead as well. Well, all the very best with your project. I thank you so much for your time. It was very valuable. We learned a lot. I'm
Thank
sure the
you.
viewers are going to enjoy watching this video and they're going to absolutely do all of the tips what you've given us.
Thank you so much. I'd
Thank
be
you,
really
Amy. Thank
happy
you.
if
Yeah.
the tips help even one follower.
And we look
Thank you.
forward to seeing you at the festival. When are you planning to come to New Zealand?
As soon as the doors open, as soon as the border opens, I'll be happy to come over.
We look forward to seeing you in New Zealand, and I look forward to dancing with you as well.
Absolutely. I cannot wait.
Thank you very much, Amy. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye bye. Take care.
Bye.